Yeah, that was not the smart choice. We did not take the smart choice at the end of last session. Man, this is annoying. I think I'm just going to have to go with it because we're running out of time here. Let's just go in. Sorry, you guys are on a delay. While we're waiting, I'll fill in on Edgar Allan Poe trivia, which I don't know. Last session, this is kind of like a D&D kind of thing. I feel kind of like the DM, except you guys are completely silent as players. But this is, I do a lot of online Dungeons and Dragons. Ooh, that might be nice. Yeah, if you can pull up the information that, Mike, that'd be great. While I do the, if you can just say, click, go to advanced, go to this, go to this. So in the last session, oh, good. For those of you who don't know, missing a tooth. Super fun. I'll get it replaced in a week. I had an implant that failed and it's a thing. So we woke up in this very kind of pit in the pendulum kind of area. We were in the bottom of this area and just surrounded by walls. We had a little bit of some crazy mind stuff going on, thinking there were animals and spiders and stuff climbing on us. We walked across this room and we calculating the drips and the dripping ceiling. Mike was there to help us with the riddles. Actually, Graham, I have a feeling, would actually be pretty good at riddles too. So thank you for that, Graham. Anyway, we realize this is a large pit. We walk around it. We go to a table. We get a candle. We start looking around the room. There is a light up. Okay, thank you, Mike. There is a light above us that we see. When we start looking around the room, I feel that all of a sudden we hear our captors coming, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm missing anything. We hear the Inquisitors, and we did realize we are, in fact, in the Spanish Inquisition. And we quickly, let ourselves be taken because we don't have a bone shard. A bone shard or a crude dagger, I feel like those are the two things that keep coming up and we just don't have them. So we allow ourselves to be taken. We end up strapped down to the pendulum. The pendulum's up above us and there are all these rats. And we take some food by us and we smear the food on our restraints, which the rats start eating through. Then we take a rat and we throw it across the room like you do. And that makes all the other rats run away for some reason. And we free ourselves. And once we're free, we, something happened. And all of a sudden, it got really hot or something in the room. And we had to jump into the well. But the well is not full. And so we just kind of plummet into this well and we die. And we get the condition suicidal tendencies. And that is the first time we start hearing the word avatar. It says you see your avatar. It's this very meta, we are removed from it being us. It is just our little personage that we are controlling, like our character. And our avatar has suicidal tendencies. We wake up in a cell. And then, true stuff. Oh, thank you, Mike. First, head over to YouTube Studio, select Create, then Live from the left navigate. Great. Mike, while I'm doing this, Mike is feeding me information on how to slow down the chat delay, which I'll do here in a second. And then we wake up in a cell, and all of a sudden, a cannonball zips through the wall, exploding it. We race out into the streets. We're being chased by the Inquisitors. We hear a lot of... we just run for a while through this dilapidated town. No one really seems to be here. And then all of a sudden, we do eventually hide in this house and we meet this rat. And we solve this riddle with a skull of how many teeth it has and how many segments are on the rat's tail. And the rat lets us follow him. And that is, we go into actually with the whole avatar thing, I was wondering if we have an actual puppet. Ooh, interesting. Oh, okay, I'll bring that up in a second. And then, so we go into this feast. I believe it was 5 people. They're all sitting on coffins. One's even dressed as a coffin. I didn't know if that was a weird language translation thing, but we have these all really gaunt, kind of ghastly people sitting in these coffins or sitting on these coffins. And I think they're eating and feasting. And then, and it wouldn't let us reread the passage to get any details or clues, but I think there were 5. And they're oh, drink of our bubbly beverage. And it is called the Amontillado, which if you know anything about Poe, the glass of Amontillado is this dude who gets buried in the wall. We drink the Amontillado. Do we die? When we drink... Something bad happens when we drink the Amontillado. I'm going to reread the final passage, but that where we left off. But we get knocked out or subdued or something when we drink the Amontillado. And when we come back to... we are at the passage that we are currently at. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to attempt to to fix the chat, and then we'll jump right in. But I will go ahead and move. I don't know, I'll keep us here. So talk amongst yourselves while I follow Mike's directions. And while I'm trying to do that, I will mention... So Morgan brought up the idea is actually with the whole Avatar thing. I was wondering if we have an actual puppet because of that one passage that I read regarding us trading our soul for the puppet of immortality, which I actually do have the notes from. This is our... So we found the table in passage 6, and we have suicidal tendencies. And what we are here for is that we have... you have to read this in reverse. We found this was a mirror image, so it's going to start in the bottom and go up. But we have bartered our soul for the immortality of a puppet. That's an interesting idea, Morgan. That's great. Handing our free will to a blasphemous puppeteer. So maybe we, as the players of this game, are the blasphemous puppeteers, and our immortal puppet is our little avatar in the game. Should the body perish and come back to life, which it does, obviously, we've seen this happen, it will be cast without hesitation in the flames of eternal fire. The only other alternative granted is the pit. And it feels like we're in the pit. Poe was from Baltimore, saw his grave a few months ago. Very cool. We were actually, we were like, Boston, Baltimore? Because there's the Baltimore Ravens. And I believe on his birthday, somebody, at least for a long period of time, would put like brandy and all this other stuff on his grave as well. There's a lot like, and his death is really mysterious. I do know a little bit of Poe facts. If we do have a chat delay, I'm just going to start rattling them. But yeah, he's, and we were talking about, he did predate Jules Verne. Jules Verne was actually a fan of Edgar Allan Poe. I believe H.G. Wells was considered the father of science fiction, but Poe, of science fiction, but he also is detective novel, which I mentioned last time. He's kind of credited with one of the first detective novels as well, which is pretty cool. Poe's really neat and really troubled, like marrying your 13-year-old cousin. That gives off pretty icky vibes. I digress. All right, Edgar Allan Poe, let's go. Hopefully by next Sunday, by Sunday, I'll have this figured out. But let's go. We are at 76. I remember that because of 76 trombones. So this was the last thing that we read. Here we go. Oh yeah, we regenerate in a pool, so we did die, in fact. All right. You regenerate in a puddle of dark liquid next to the barrel in which your corpse floats. King Pest bends down so that he is at your eye level, spreads a palm upon either knee, and bursts into a thunderous hurricane of laughter. Each time it happens, it's a true delight. Don't worry about the body. We'll make good use of it, as always. Parenthetical, is this how we get a bone shard? Because they're making good use of a body? You'll notice that they're using the ribcage of your corpse as a grill, and you feel a deep sense of nausea. The Avatar is merely a means used by others before you and trapped in this absurd hell, just like all the rest of us. Don't bother yourself too much with it, or else you'll risk missing all the fun. The king smiles and waves you towards an armchair that one of his men has prepared for you. Now again, we don't have a lot of things in this game. We found a table. But we do have suicidal tendencies. So suicidal tendencies, our last thing to do was to attack King Pest. So we are attacking King Pest. Let's do this. 87. Ooh, black cat. There we go. Ooh, a feral scream. You launch yourself with a feral scream at your horrid opponent and try and strike it with all of your might. But the skeletal entity avoids your attack with a supernatural speed. You enter rage. As a bonus action, you keep hitting the empty air, barely grazing its velvet robe that encounters your fist like a light caress, until you collapse to the ground. To the great entertainment of the dinner guests,
King Pest remains silent while you catch your breath, then invites you to take a seat. You suffer the weight of humiliation but feel fortified by the courage you showed. Interesting. The avatar trusts you. Note this condition. It takes place of suicidal tendencies. Okay. That's interesting. So, trust. All right, there we go. So we are trusted. Before resuming the conversation, King Pest pours some punch into his bony goblet, guzzles the reddish liquid in one breath, and wipes his flabby chin on the sleeve of his robe. As promised, I shall now respond to your questions. Oh, that's nice. If you want to know more about this place and its strange inhabitants, go to 56. If you want to know why the Inquisition is hunting you down, go to 140. Okay, so this is very like Kingdom Hearts. It feels like we may be jumping from Edgar Allan Poe's story to Edgar Allan Poe's story. We obviously made some Warlockian, Faustian deal with the devil as well. So that may be part of the reason why we are here. But yeah, this is, and there's 3 of you, great. So, we missed the Weeping Benches. Oh no. Is it back? We heard all of 106. Oh, that's probably for the best. Yeah, let's see how my my monitor's doing here. Yeah, it's using so much. Yeah, it's using 86% of my my CPU just doing this. It's ridiculous. But I'm glad you heard all of 106. So the Weeping Bench is just a thing our players do. Our characters go and cry on the Weeping Bench and that D&D group, and then we do it in real life. We'll go when we go on vacation. We go and find benches next to very historical places and weep on them and take pictures. We should make a coffee book. That's what we're talking about. I sadly haven't been part of that group in, gosh, probably like a year and a half now, which is sad. It just doesn't work out with the Pacific time zone. Okay, so what are we voting on here? We are voting on your ex cursed the computer before she left. What we're currently voting on is what are we saying? If we want to know more about the place and its inhabitants, or do we want to know why the Inquisitors are hunting us down? So that is I miss you too, Graham. So that is currently what our vote is. Are we doing, would you want to learn more about the place, or do you want to know why we're being hunted down? Those are 2 very good questions. So I'm curious to see how that one turns out. But let's see here. Yeah, the mic thing, I got to figure this out. I would do OBS, but I couldn't download it. The version wouldn't download onto a Mac for some reason, the newest release of it. So I'm doing the easier to use but more draining on your processor. So yeah, 75% now. Gross. Okay, I could go either way, maybe slightly more into 56. So Mike is more about, tell us about this strange place and its inhabitants. Okay, we're doing it. We're doing 56. Because I think that's what yep means. Let's go. And like I said, it's going to be Graham making us do the things we brochures. Sorry. Okay, 56. Here we go. I choose 56. So shut up, Graham. Graham played was an artificer. I'm pretty sure Clamdor was an artificer. I'm very Clamdoring this up. Ooh. Oh, so we have a change of font. Oh, because it's a letter. Okay. Ooh, Red Death. I just saw Red Death. I'm excited. Okay. The wicked individual, after a theatrical pause, replies, "This place." Notice how his voice keeps changing because I don't quite know who he is. He's bony. Is he a skeleton or is he skeletal? So anyway, I can't figure out a voice for what this guy is. But he also says he has like a blubbery chin. Didn't he just say he has a blubbery chin? I'm so confused. Oh well. The wicked individual, after a theatrical pause, a Pinteresque pause, replies, "This place, which you no doubt profanely suppose to be the shop of an undertaker, is the throne of our palace, reserved for the councils of our kingdom and other sacred and lofty purposes. Here we sit in council for business that is ours, and ours alone, our own private and regal interest, and of no import to any other than ourselves, but in consideration of those rights to which as guests and strangers you may feel yourselves entitled, we will furthermore explain that we are here this night, prepared by deep research and accurate investigation to examine, analyze, and thoroughly determine the indefinable spirit, the incomprehensible qualities and nature of those inestimable, the tooth got me on that one, treasures of the palate, the wines, ales, and liquors of those ghostly lands, to laud the grace that has been conceded to us by the unearthly sovereign, whose reign is over us all, whose dominions are unlimited, and who appears before us wearing the mask of the Red Death. Okay. If you want to cut to the chase and find out why you were here, go to 73. Okay, so that's what you wanted, Graham. If you want to know why the Inquisitor's hunting you down, go to 140. That's really why you're here. And if you want to know who the Red Death is, go to 118. Good. And there's 3 of you, so you can all 3 choose a different thing. I look forward to that. While we're waiting for the responses, so yeah, Edgar Allan Poe married his, 13-year-old, was it a cousin or something? I felt like he invited his aunt over, and the cousin was there. This was after one of his other wives died. He was also adopted. He lost his parents at a very young age. And he was eventually adopted. He went to West Point, but eventually dropped out. Oh my God, Mike is ranking the orders. Ooh, 118. Ooh, so, okay, Red Death is looking pretty high there. I think, Graham, there's not much you can do about that one. I feel like these will go in a loop. We can ask questions, but I also feel like if you do ask one, there's maybe one that's like the trouble spot that'll move the conversation on. But all right, let's figure out who the Red Death is. And we haven't encountered the Red Death either. I don't think we have, right? The Red Death is, I think this is the first mention of him. Let's go to Prospero's party. I'm pretty sure that was Prospero in the Mask of the Red Death. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. The Red Death is a plague that is cleansing these lands. No plague has ever been so fatal and frightening. Blood is its manifestation, and horror its seal. It causes sharp pains, sudden dizziness, then an abundant bleeding from the pores, and finally, dissolution. Its mark, I thought we were talking about Red Death as in the personification, like the entity, the Red Death, but apparently we're just talking about the plague itself. Its mark is the scarlet stains on the body and, above all, the face. Once it appears, the victim is excluded from aid or sympathy or fellow men. The whole seizure now lasts only a few minutes. Only the first infected people suffered for days or weeks. Among these, Our Lady chose us to be her servants, showing us her scarlet mask during the feverish sleep of her last days of agony in order to offer us immortality and revenge in return for our services. Oh, we're still in the conversation. Okay. If you want to cut to the chase, find out why you're here, 73. If you want to know why the Inquisitor's hunting you, 140. If you want to know more about this place, go to 56. So it looks like 73 is the end of the conversation. I'm just guessing because it says cut to the chase. So it looks like if we go to 140, we could probably still get to 73 if we want to get as much information as possible. But I'm sure that's up to you. I'm biasing your choices. And I could be very, very wrong, as I am prone to be. I just saw, Graham, that you're texting on the D&D chat and basically making fun of yourself. So 140, that looks like that is it, right? 140, so 140 Mike, 140. Yeah, it looks like Morgan wasn't fast enough on the trigger, but 140, there it is. Okay, let's do it. But yeah, 140. It seems to make the most sense because it feels like we'll still be able to finish the conversation. I keep seeing end, I think. Maybe it's the page number. I'm excited. Edgar Allan Poe. Whoa, here we go. King Pest grins lightly, nodding his head, and assumes a grave tone. A grave tone. Oh, with the arrival of the Red Death, the plague that exterminated men and beasts of these lands, nobles and clerics shut themselves away in the castellated abbey of Prince Poet, the then lord of all that surround us. He was an unhappy man, given to drunkenness and the literary arts. He must be a theater major. We too retreated with his court in total isolation with the stronghold, the same one where you were trapped. Ooh, I'm going to reread this, because I got excited about my theater reference. We too retreated with his court in total isolation within the stronghold, the same one where you were trapped. It is an immense, magnificent edifice, which changes its structure according to the eccentric taste and mood of the prince. You are distracted for a moment, and notice that even the companions of King Pest are enraptured by the narrative. Okay. Once inside, we were all quarantined for 40 days in our quarters. Any contact with our peers was forbidden, and only the servants, dressed with proper protection, could bring us food and empty our chamber pots. During our seclusion, anyone who showed symptoms of the disease was chased out of the fortress. This happened to me and my unfortunate companions. We were abandoned on the road like rabid beasts, while the survivors welded locks onto the gates to prevent any possibility of ingress by the plague victims and egress by the healthy. By taking such precautions with an endless supply of provisions and a vast assortment of jesters, actors, dancers, and musicians, the inhabitants of the fortress deluded themselves into thinking that they could ward off the threat of the Red Death and leave the outside world fend for itself. The pale ruler clears his throat and leans in and brushes his chapped lips up against your face. And his breath smells putrid, and his presence is unbearable. But now things have changed. Even though the Crimson Plague was eradicated in the fortress, ironically, tuberculosis spread within those same walls and has struck someone very close to His Majesty. No one knows what went wrong during the mesmerizing, I don't know why that word was so difficult all of a sudden, mesmerizing ritual that was performed or invented by the Prince Poet to heal his body. But it made his remains immortal and open to incarnation. And in a world built on the eternal return of the same, any unpredictable outside influence is a danger. Now do you understand why the Inquisition seeks to trap you at the beginning of this story? Do you understand why they threw you at the mercy of the Tribunal of Faith? Your existence stands as pure heresy. The power you wield over this avatar exposes all of us to the unfortunate possibility of a real end. Okay. I just saw what you wrote, Mike. Okay. So Mike asks, are we the prince then? And thank you, Graham, for being Graham, saying he'd rather be prince. And then, then Mike wants to give him some chapstick. Okay, so what is this exactly saying then? Because I'm so focused on reading and not lisping with this missing tooth. I'm having trouble kind of getting the larger thoughts out as opposed to the sentence, as opposed to like what's actually happening. So yes, 73 is the only option we haven't chosen. But what does this mean in regards to like this avatar and that we are inhabiting? Like, who is that? 73 is the only place we have left to go. And it seems like our existence in inhabiting this avatar is possibly bringing an end to this world in which these individuals resign or something. I'm just giving us everyone a little bit of a second just to figure out what's happening here. If anyone wants to fill me in, does somebody want to fill me in on what I just read? Yeah, I would have to read that again to fully understand it. Yeah, that is, well, good thing it just shows up. We can listen to it again. But no one knows what went wrong during the trial. So we had a trial. Wait, ritual. So the prince, was it the prince who had the ritual?
There was a ritual. Nobody went wrong. Yeah, so the Prince Poet was trying to heal his body. That sounds like Prospero from Mask of the Red Death. He was like running through all the different colored rooms. He's having a masquerade party while everyone was dying of a plague. He ran through all these rooms, running away from him, each color representing the portions of life, basically. And he, you're okay if I read it again? Oh, you jerks. I believe the Avatar is the subject of the story, right? Yes, the Avatar is the subject of the story. Effectively, the protagonist is, in the book, is the reader's avatar. Yes, so it is our avatar, and we're inhabiting him and giving him choices. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna reread this last part real quick, just because I didn't quite. So the plague got into the fortress, but it looks like tuberculosis struck someone very close to His Majesty. No one knows what went wrong during the mesmerizing ritual that was performed or invented by the Prince Poet to heal his body, but it made his remains immortal and open to incarnation. So we are the prince. So you are the prince. Yes, it seems like we are inhabiting the prince's body, which sounds like Prospero, that I'm thinking. So, so it made his remains immortal and open to incarnation, and in a world built on the eternal return of the same. Don't know what that means. This is also translated from Italian, so sometimes it gets a little like, I don't know what you're saying. Any unpredictable outside influence, that's us, is a danger. Now do you understand why the Inquisitors seek to trap you at the beginning of the story, which is back in the pit? We are the puppet masters. Are we the baddies? I know. Are we the bad guys? Okay. Do you understand why they threw you at the mercy of the Tribunal of Faith? So they threw us at the mercy of the Tribunal of Faith. So that probably means when we got the Avatar, we still went to court as the Avatar. We just haven't experienced that yet. Reading it, we've just heard about it. I'm assuming that's the Tribunal of Faith. Look at me. Look at me. I am the prince now. That's a Captain. Oh, that Tom Hanks movie I never watched. Look at me. Look at me. I am the prince now. Your existence stands as heresy. Okay. Okay. Let's cut to the chase and find out why we're really here. 73. Okay. All right. We're getting some information. We're learning some things. And again, I have not ever played this game. This is all new to me as well. I'm not playing dumb. I'm just dumb. All right. Let's go. The tooth helps. Ooh, maps. Ooh, Archdukes, Court of King Pest. Creepy mask. Oh, here we go. This is a short one. Ooh, whoa. Wait, what? It says end. I don't know what that means. Okay, let's just read it. King Pest swirls his femur for emphasis during his monologue. The choices you make may lead you to new deaths. Oh, are we going to start over? Okay, sorry. The choices you make may lead you to new deaths, to the possible ending of this story, or to the end of all existence. It all depends on how your meeting with Our Lady, who's eager to meet you, will go. I have the thankless task of obeying her will and guiding you, provided that you wouldn't rather leave the Avatar here to feast with us and accept this. Is that the end? It just says end. And then there's a creepy mask. Well, this is still the same. This isn't a new... I think we're going on. Because this is a new... there's not a header for this for like number 74. What the hell does end mean? What is all this? Oh, are we going to just like learn everybody? Okay. Okay, we're not at 74 yet, so I guess we keep reading and get all this information. I haven't... Ooh, are we getting a map? I don't know why it says end. That is throwing me. But I think it looks like we're continuing on. Somebody fill me in if I'm completely ignorant here. You've torn the page, and King Pest looks disappointed. You've torn the page? What's that mean? What the hell's it? What's happening? Somebody help me. Where'd my phone go? Let's see here. Okay, so does anyone have any idea of the end? Are we continuing on, or was that the actual... It seems like end was an offer to leave him the Avatar by stop reading. Okay, okay. But we don't take it. You've torn the page. Okay, great. Thank you. I was like, what is happening? Okay, it looks like we have a lot to read. And let's see how many words I fumble over. Let's go. So yeah, it looks like he, like as Mike was saying, he offered us an end and we didn't take it. It's very that coda at the end of the Dark Tower series, if you ever read that. Yeah, okay, so he offers us this end. We don't take it. There's a chat delay, and I was left to squirm for about like a minute, freaking out and trying not to fall into awkward silences. Okay, you've torn the page. That's a weird, I don't know that turn of phrase. And King Pest looks disappointed. Too bad. As much as we all wish for nothing more than the downfall of the Prince Poet and his fortress, the possibility of our little party ending together with all creation is indeed unfortunate. Unfortunately, we are nothing more than puppets in this farce, and we can do nothing but obey the will of the Red Death. Later, you will find a map with various places marked with numbers. Some of these routes will lead to desolate areas, some will take you to places you've already been, and others will lead you straight to your persecutors. Only 5 destinations will allow you to unveil the intimate horrors committed by 5 of the court members through the ghosts of their past. Ooh, wow. If you are successful and bring them peace, oh, wow, we got some subquests, some plots to do here. We got some missions. If you are successful and bring them peace, you will obtain a key that opens one of the 7 royal rooms of the fortress. If you find all 5 of my subjects' keys, I will grant you mine. So that's 6. The 7th, meanwhile, is in the hands of the Inquisitors, and is likely that you'll once more lose your life before finding its hiding place. Behind one of the 7 doors, you'll find Our Lady, but don't ask me which. Even if I knew, I wouldn't help you even under the threat of torture. You can come back to this page at any time, thank you, and get more information about the members of our court and to find out to whom the keys you find belong. It wouldn't be a bad idea to leave a bookmark here. Thank you. I will do that. Keep in mind that it's up to you to find a way into the fortress, just as it's you to deduce the identity of the owner of each key. Oh, we have to figure out who owns which key. Ouch, I just hit my elbow. And if by chance you can't solve a puzzle, continue on even if it leads you down paths you've already taken. You're as trapped as we are in the paths of in the ruins of this world. I switched that. This world of ruins. I now render you to the narrator and return to the festivities as they may be the last. I truly hope you fail. Now turn the page and read carefully the instructions that King Pest's guests have for you. Remember that when you obtain the 5 keys, Cat, Raven, Heart, Tomb, Poetry, you can ask for a new audience with King Pest. Add the 2nd digit to the right of the paragraphs where you found them. Okay. So for instance, if it's paragraph 14, you would read that's a 4. And add the result, that number of this paragraph 73. Okay, we'll deal with this when we get to it. It's hard to, it makes sense when I'm reading it, but me explaining it to you, it's just making me sound dumb. And it's making you confused. So we have these keys. So this is actually kind of very, here I thought we were close to the end. See, I had a feeling this was going to go on a while. And the only reason I thought that is because the only other live play I've seen of this, I believe it's in Italian. But it was multiple episodes, of maybe like 5 episodes, but they were like an hour and a half to maybe even 2 hours each. So I think this is going to be, I was told there was no math. What is this math? Yeah, you haven't got any riddles yet, Graham. Yeah, so we have all of these like quests. Oh, here we go. I just don't know. There, you can see the keys. So we have Raven, Heart, Poets. He mentioned them. I'm like, Angry Cat, Eyeball, Coffin. But that's King Pest. I think here we go. Cat, Raven, Heart, Tomb, Poetry, and then I guess King Pest. And then we have the one, then we also have the Inquisitors. So here's the Court of King Pest. I guess we're just going to talk about this. And what I'll do for my next setup is I'll probably try to have either some like piece of paper I could bring up like the notes, or maybe I'll just put like these little icons in there, or maybe when we discover them in like Zelda or something like that, we'll just kind of put them in our little inventory. That wasn't the right thing. That was just the beginning. I can't remember how it goes when he finds his little Triforce or items. I'm relying on you guys for any math problems. Mike is good at the math stuff. Graham probably is. Okay. So let's just go over this. Let's see who we got. We have Queen Pest. Okay, so these are all the people we saw at the dinner and just weren't allowed to really look at. Ooh, I hate using AI, but I may make little AI images of these people just because it's fun. Queen Pest is a tall, thin woman with a round face and a terrifying scar down her right cheek. Her body's enrobed in a stiff burial sheet that restricts her movements. Oh my gosh. This is how we figure out who has which keys. It's one of those, it's the labyrinth thing. You can't trust that one. It's the one sitting to the right of me, but you can't trust the one to my left. Even the one to the left says you can trust the one to the left, to the middle, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is a whole riddle as well. Mike, this will give you something to do at work. So she says her husband has the key. If he hadn't gone to the tavern that night, I might still be alive. Oh, maybe I was speaking ahead of myself. The pestilential Duke is a well-dressed gentleman who stares at you with a pair of large bloodshot eyes, as if he's been poisoned. His body has the jitters, his jaws are clenched shut with bandages, and his arms are tied in the same way, perhaps to keep him from speaking or serving himself liquor. Okay, good. So maybe it's not one of those. It's this. Oh, wait, I see the word key coming up again. The pestiferous Archduke is an obese, asthmatic old man who stares at you with an evil eye. His neck and limbs are bandaged with old blood-encrusted gauze, and he carries himself proudly, as if he's got a dark secret. Okay, why would you carry yourself proudly if you had a dark secret? You can't kill someone who's already dead. If my killer had figured that out, there'd be no key to give you now. I don't know what these little sentences are they're saying. The Tempest Duke is a stocky figure who appears to be paralyzed by an unusual and uncomfortable piece of clothing that he wears. A coffin. Okay, so one was in a coffin. The top of the coffin. I'm picturing him like a kid, like in a box, like dressed in a box, like for, when kids get boxes and just, we'll see. The top of the coffin presses down on his skull and juts forward like a hood, while his arms and legs stick out from crude holes cut in the sides of the coffin. I picture the boy, I can't remember his name, from Bob's Burgers. Like just dressed in this. Be careful not to cross my path, or I may not be the only one here to wear a coffin. Shut up. The Archduchess Anapeste, I don't know, is the E silent? I don't know, is a delicate little creature whose trembling and gaunt fingers, bluish lips, and faint tubercular blush of her otherwise cadaverous complexion reveal the obvious symptoms of a devastating consumption. That's a hell of a sentence, and I'm proud of myself for getting through it. She wears a broad, finely woven funeral cloth sheet with elegance. The key is buried with me. It shall be yours if you save me. Okay. And here we go. Take note of the fact that you possess a map. Yay! Of these lands, which you will find on the next page. Each time you're instructed to choose a destination on it, which we've come into places where it said, if you have a map, choose your destination. Each time you're instructed to choose a destination on it, all you have to do is open it and select a number to go to on the corresponding paragraph. From there, you'll venture into a maze that you can go through over and over. Oh boy. Facing the ghosts that haunt these pages more than once, and always suffering the consequences of your choices until you find a key. This is kind of like Kingdom Hearts, isn't it? And I bet each area is a different Edgar Allan Poe story? I'm just trying to think of his set pieces. Maybe there's just one lonely dude with a raven. I don't know. Now open the map and choose a destination. Court members wearing also. So just reading what you guys have... what you guys wrote. We got a Duke in a box. It's a Duke in a box. We've got dude wears a coffin. That is a commitment. Each paragraph seems to give us information about what the court member is wearing. Yes. Oh yeah. I wonder if that'll come into play. And also,
info about how they died. Interesting. Yeah, these are things, before our next session, I'm definitely going to go back and I'm going to probably maybe change up how the interface of this works and just what all we see here. Okay, let's open the map and choose. How are we doing on time here? Okay, it's 7:30. Let me know how you guys are doing. Do you want to just see where... Do you want to end here, go a little longer? We could like choose a location and see where it brings us. Oh my gosh, the Resident Evil village. Is that the one, that weird Spanish one? Wasn't there one that was like a really great one? That may be my favorite. That's kind of like some weird kind of like creepy Spanish village or something like that. I can't quite remember where I was. I don't play video games much, but Resident Evil is definitely one of them. Okay, Mac's doing good. Well, I'm gonna slowly pan. It's just houses. I'll bring this back. But okay, this map's pretty big. All right, we've got there. I'll just let you look at that. So we don't really have like any. Okay, there's a graveyard at 70. I'm just looking for any like discernible features beyond graveyard at 70. That's just a dilapidated house for 126 and 135. Same with 167 and 172. Looks pretty much the same. That's a little... 66 looks like... Did he say something about 66? That looks kind of like the... very good question. Where are we starting from? Do you think 66 maybe the... It looks like it's got like these little parapets or something. Is that like... Is that the fortress? It also has these like... Oh, maybe they're flags. I was thinking tentacles. If anyone's played the Baldur's Gate video game, there's this. It's kind of an Act 2 spoiler, but there's tentacles in the castle. And then 162 has a bit of a garden in front. Where are we starting from? Because it did say we can always... Oh, in 75. Oh, God, there's more. Jeez. Vacant structure for 159. Jeez, I have no idea. It all looks... let's see if we... Let's see... Because it said we can come back. We can talk to King Pest after... We can get an audience with him after we've gotten all the other keys. But yeah, I don't know. 66 looks like a castle. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 66 looks like a castle, or maybe it's a flip. And they made it gaudy for the gentrifiers. That's probably exactly what it was, Graham. Yeah, I'm scrolling back real quick. I don't know where we are. Take note of the fact... Oh, here we go. We can't come back here until... that's where we have to add everything up, right? That was like the funny thing about... Once you have all the keys and you add it all up, then... Now turn the page and read carefully. You can ask for new audience with the King Pest. So once we do get all the keys... That's where we find the passage to come back here. So where we are is not on this map. We are not going to be able to... We always have access to this information in this page, but we can't come back to this until we get all the keys. So, whoa, sorry, I got excited. Yeah, so the main things are 75. It looks like it may be connected to 66, but that's kind of like a castle. Maybe that's the fortress with the Inquisitors where we came out of. I was under the impression this was a bigger area. 66. Okay, we got Graham at 66. House with a little garden in front. Dilapidated, and cemetery. Those are basically our choices. We got one for 66. Okay, let's do it. 66. Where were we? 77. All right, let's see where we end up. And then we'll play till we find a good stopping point. Again, I know we made a lot of progress. But I know a lot of the beginning of this video was me angry at the software for this delay, which we'll figure out. Why is it 66 like in this little note? Maybe that means it's a map. You'll see the number 66 has a little rectangle around it, which the other ones don't. But maybe that just means it's a piece of the map. Okay. Yes, this is the fortress. You find yourself in front of the monumental entrance to the fortress. It is not a safe place. It reminds you that the Inquisition, not just the Inquisitors, the entirety of the Inquisition is on your heels. If your avatar is traumatized, we are not. Mark the number of this paragraph and... Oh. If you're... Mark the number of this paragraph and go to 69. Otherwise, open the map and choose another. This is one of the things where the wording is a little goofy. If your avatar is traumatized, you lose control, fall to his knees in despair. He doesn't even realize a patrol is coming. Oh, okay. But we're not traumatized. That mark the number of this paragraph is part of the previous one. That's just poorly, there needs to be a space in there somewhere. Otherwise, open the map and choose another destination. Oh, butts. Where was the map? I think it was down here. Okay, so no, good. We learned that 66. So that's the front door. 75 may be the adjacent building. So we still have quite a few places. I'm going to take note of that too, that 66 is Inquisitors. And it looks like it didn't even want us to go in there. Like, we didn't have the option. There was no other way to go in that door. So maybe 75 is a back door. But there was no way to get into that building as far as I could tell. See what we got here. So let's see here. Yeah, what are we thinking here? Just checking time. $153. What are we feeling here? 153. 96. Those are just dilapidated houses. 75. It's like a different entrance. Maybe it's an adjacent building. 162 is a house with a garden. 70 is a cemetery. Yeah, no, we're again, we're just kind of flying blind right now. So what looks interesting? Um, 75. So, yeah, I mean 75. Yeah, should we just like figure out this building if that's another way to get in? Okay, I'm good with that. Let's check. Let's see if there is another way to get in this building. 75. So we're at the other side. I'll keep it a little, just so we can see anyone watching along. So yeah, we're just gonna try the other side of this large building. 70. Shut up, Mike. We're not doing your dumb 70 being intrigued. Oh, here we go. You find yourself at the back. Yeah, it's a total crapshoot. You find yourself at the back of the fortress, the same place from which you escaped. Oh, so this is our prison cell. The hole in the wall is still there, but you can't see any traces of what caused it. It's dangerous to be there. The Inquisition, capital, is on your trail. If you want to stay and inspect the rubble, 183, otherwise go to a different destination. We can inspect the rubble, which maybe there's an item, but then I feel like we're inspecting the rubble. That's when we get shivved or something. I don't know. So this is another one. This is up to you guys. Are we going to go exploring with the map, or are we checking out some rubble? And we're kind of at that point. We'll find a good stopping point here shortly, and give us all a little break. Thanks again for the little technical difficulties in the bidding. It's so frustrating with this. 183. Okay, we got one for rubble. You're also listening to Graham, so that could be bad. Yeah, let me think of other, while you guys are voting, think of some other little fun Poe facts. He went to West Point. He actually did not get kicked out. He wanted to be a poet, and he actually kind of got bored with it and left. He did get kicked out of a previous college, though. 183. Okay. Morgan, you're outvoted, or maybe you want to do 183 as well. So we're going to search the rubble. Okay. Here we go. 183. His death was really tragic too. He was supposed to be on a ship or something like that. And I listened to one thing where it's possible at that time they used to get you were outvoted. Morgan was outvoted. There was an election at the time, and there used to be groups of people who would like sauce people up. And Poe already had some substance abuse issues. And he it is possible that people were like filling him full of liquor and other things and making him voting multiple different places for their candidate. I heard that was one of the possibilities. Okay, I'll scroll faster. Ooh, we are really cruising down the bottom. Ooh, what is going on there? Oh, House of Usher. That's another one I keep forgetting about. That's one of those houses. Has to be. Oh, don't want that. Here we go. Okay. Despite the horror of what you've been through in here and there, you still decide to go in and look at the rubble. The crack in the wall sheds light on a jagged web of smaller fissures. that reaches to the battlements of the high wall, topped by a cylindrical tower that stands out against the sky like a menacing finger. Surrounding the mighty structure is a nucleus of houses with rotten wooden facades and crumbling roofs. You still can't figure out who or what set you free, but the absurdity of the situation refrains you for a moment too long. 3 hooded inquisitors have crossed the entrance to the dungeon and are headed your way. If you are traumatized, thank goodness we're not, because we're trusted. Our little avatar trusts us currently. So, we can flee or confront the inquisitors. Yeah, and while they're voting, yes, when he was 13, when he married his 13-year-old cousin, he was 27 years old. Sorry, guys, I make bad choices. That is true. Don't never listen to Graham. So if Graham says he wants to attack them, we will not. Oh, look at that. Graham speaking. Let's see if how Morgan votes on this one, too, if we should just flee, which is 171. But yeah, we don't currently have... It will be exciting when we get some form of weapon to actually kill these guys. All right, it is unanimous, myself included. Let's get out of here. We're fleeing to 171. And that's right. I feel like it was a cannonball that broke us out of jail, though, right? But yeah, we have no idea where it came from. You dash headlong toward the safety of the dark street and easily outrun your pursuers, still working their way through the rubble, when you disappear from their sight beyond the intersection. The city appears to you to be emptied of people as you walk through its narrow stone alleys and passageways. Many doors are barred shut with planks and painted with red crosses, as if there's an epidemic. We've been here, but this is a repeat, isn't it? In a desperate attempt to confine the infected to clusters generated by the demon of the disease. Among the scarred and ruined dwellings, one seems to offer easier access and possible shelter. We have done this one. When we first escaped, we did this. Our options are, if you want to hide, go to 155. If you want to keep running, go to 166. I feel like we kept running last time. I'm almost positive this is a repeat. It may be a different number. Maybe we don't have the option to go find King Pest. Maybe we do. But I feel like we have definitely done this one before, and I'm quite sure we ran. So, but we can try to hide in the ruined house or keep running. So it's 155 for the house or 166 to keep running. Did we keep running? Yeah, I feel like we did. We eventually we ran for like a couple passages. I don't feel like we ever ducked in a house. I feel like we just stopped. Duck into the house. Morgan, how are you feeling about this house? And again, when we hit like a cool point, we'll stop. If there's a cool point. All right, let's do it. Into the house. Run into the ruined house. Whoa. Ooh. You enter through a shattered window into the narrow, crumbling dwelling. The ominous red cross marked on the entrance evokes the fear of contagion by an unknown disease. But it is not enough to stop you from sneaking into the desolate place in order to escape the clutches of the Inquisition's executioners. The miserable hovel, consisting of a single room and a toilet with a broken door, appears empty and uninhabited. The few pieces of furniture there have been destroyed by time or looters. If you want to inspect the room, go to 144. Oh, that's weird. So we do have other options. We just have a very large picture in between them. Inspect the room. Rest. If you prefer to leave, we can go use the map. Or we can use the map and go somewhere else. So inspect, rest, or use the map. Obviously, we should... I wonder what happens when we rest. We've had a few options to rest now. Right in the very beginning of the game, we had the option to rest. We could have just gathered our strength and rest, is what it said. But this is the other time I've seen that as an option to rest. Maybe we get a heart container. So inspect to look for a key. Yeah, do you think it's that easy? But yeah, Yeah. Yeah, okay. It's looking like inspect. Let's see what Morgan says. Graham says open for inspection or the map. See what Morgan throws out at us. Inspect. Inspect it is. That's where I was leaning to, so let's do it. 144. Come on, let's get something. Let's get something. Lots of creepy pictures. You examine the small, empty, dark room patiently and carefully, looking for the slightest trace. But you find nothing but filth and desolation. Suddenly, you hear tapping. Oh my god. As if someone gently rapping on your chamber door. 'Tis a visitor, I muttered, only this and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember it was a bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. That's the Raven. I had to memorize the Raven, and I still remember a lot of it. Okay, I digress. Suddenly, you hear a tapping at the window, through which you entered, and turn around with your soul on fire, but see no one. Your avatar whispers, "Oh, 'tis the wind, and nothing more." That is the Raven. Ooh. If you want to investigate the source of the noise, if you'd rather rest, or use the map. Nerd. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Some of it, like Annabelle Lee, some of his poems are just incredibly, just lyrically, just brilliant and mournful. I just love his stuff. Okay, so if we want to investigate the source of the noise, 'tis the wind and nothing more. 174. All right, so we already got checking out I want a keybird. Yeah, okay. I think it's looking pretty good. Just want to get Morgan's feelings on the situation here. What's my manager? Why some and then obviously, like, we're obviously of a generation. The Simpsons Raven with Homer Simpson is one of the greatest pieces of animation history. No, it's not even animation. It's cultural zeitgeist. The Homer Simpson Raven. I think. Oh, and gosh, I just remember too. Bart is the Raven. Okay. Okay. Some really bad puns I'm not going to read, and let's go see the source of this noise. 174. All right. Oh, there's the Raven. If the avatar trusts you, that's one of our options. That's great. Okay, you advance cautiously and reach out your hands towards the shutter, but there's no time to touch it before a majestic raven lands on it, with a great flapping of wings. The marvelous ebony bird peers down at you with all the grave and stern dignity it embodies. If the avatar trusts you, go to 86. So we have to do it. We don't even get it. I just want to see what the other options were. Otherwise, you lose control. Otherwise, we lose control and panic. Okay, let's go to 86. I was just curious what else could have happened. Okay, here we go. Whoa, way back to 86. Okay, come on, big bucks, big bucks, big bucks. Big bucks, big bucks, big bucks. No whammies. No whammies. Oh my goodness. 86, we were way down there. Come on, come on. I guess I could just search 86. It'd probably come up much faster. Than me scrolling. Hello, Black Cat. Ooh, lots going on here. The Raven's eyes stare into yours, and you feel them burning deep into your innermost being, searching for the mysterious entity that you share with this body. You feel the air becoming thicker and more pleasant, as if someone had lit an invisible censer. The animal, without fluttering a feather, stays perfectly still and observes you. It observes both of you. You lose control, almost without realizing it, while your avatar questions the black bird of prey. Oh, wow. So the king, or the prince poet, or whoever we're inhabiting, their body, is now taking control. I recognize you even though I have no memory of you. I don't know who sent you here, whether my creator and executioner, or even his more formidable creation, Red Death. But it matters little. There are but two sides of the same nightmare. The raven flinches upon hearing those words and spreads open its wings as if to take flight. I beg you, wait. Answer my question. When shall I leave the horror of this deserted, enchanted land? The bird has already vanished into the darkness of the starless sky, but its squawking reply echoes through the walls. Nevermore. When you regain control of the avatar for a split second, you also share its thoughts. You sense faint fragments of self-awareness, the exasperation at being imprisoned, a deep-rooted resignation and an unexpected trust in you as its guide, along with other faint traces of memory that fade before you can grasp them, except for one: the hope of finding a way out of this nightmare. If you're ever asked to read between the lines, which we have before, ignore the other options that you are offered, sum the highlighted numbers, and go to that paragraph. I'm going to take a screenshot of that because when we first met the people at when we first met the King Pest people, and it did say don't read between the lines here, blah blah blah. So it did say that there's nothing here between the lines. I remember reading that, thinking, what? Okay, okay. Jot down this detail. Our avatar then succumbs to fatigue. And I should have said nevermore, but I wanted to be like dramatic and say like a cool nevermore, but my voice didn't drop to the register I wanted it to. So I realized I did drop the ball on the Raven saying nevermore, and I do apologize. Go to 163. All right, I think we're about to come to somewhere. Probably a good stopping point. I feel like we have learned a lot, and I have a lot to set up for the next episode. But let's just see where we are. It's also pizza night. I'm going to have my pizza. Because I've earned it. I've had a hard week. Okay. This has been a great way to end it, too. Oh, okay. Well, let's go to 150, because this one's going to be very short. You lie on the floor in that deep darkness. The silence intaked. From the darkness, you perceive no sign of life. You finally drift off to sleep. Okay. We drift off to sleep. So we're finally getting that rest that I was talking about earlier. What happens when we rest? Creepy stuff. Whoa. What? Whoa. Whoa. Oh, geez. Did I say 150? Is that what I said? Yeah, I guess so. Holy macrame, this is long. Okay. Your awakening is pleasant and slow. Freedom has turned that floor of splintered boards into the most comfortable mattress you could possibly wish for, and you hardly notice the painful creaking of joints as you rise. A timid sun pushes its dusty rays through the cracks into the door and into the dwelling through the window you used to enter. People in the chat are saying, "Where was our key?" I agree. Maybe we'll wake up and we'll find it. Or not. When you finally raise your gaze, you sense the shadow above you, a long, dark silhouette that begins behind you and stretches all the way to the far wall. You turn your head, expecting the worst, to find a distinguished man with gray hair and a clean-shaven face, wearing an elegant black suit that is, however, tattered and covered with cobwebs. He is reluctantly sipping a glass of wine and staring at a mirror hanging on the wall, a plain, oval-looking glass that you don't remember seeing the night before. You stare for a few moments at the individual in doubt about what to do, and then his voice breaks through the silence. "Oh, this was one of the first areas to be shut down in order to limit the spread of the disease, a measure taken in vain, which only served to condemn those who had escaped the first onslaught of death. Initially, those infected took days to die, sometimes weeks, their bodies consumed along with their minds, unleashing their demons. On the other side of the fence, such horrifying stories were told of what happened here, that the cluster of forbidden buildings was enveloped in a shroud of terror. The few robbers who ventured into this desolate area to plunder the dwellings of the first victims of the disease, if they even managed to escape unharmed from the patrolling forces, spread the contagion as well as superstition through the taverns of the kingdom. When half the population was infected, the nobility retreated to the fortress of Prince Poet, the ruler of these lands, and the royal gates were never reopened, so that the whole city was abandoned to darkness of the plague." The man sighs heavily. His skin shrivels up, and his reflection in the mirror blurs for an instant. The survivors resigned themselves to an unfortunate ending and spent their remaining days burying their loved ones and betting their now worthless silverware on macabre bets, such as the body count of those who died of hunger versus those who died from disease. But the Red Death, as the disease that afflicted us was christened, had a fate worse than consumption in the store for those who, like me, had served the prince and who had been driven from the royal quarters for having contracted the contagion. He appeared to me in a dream, during a night of fever and delirium, wearing his crimson mask and offering immortality in exchange for my services. Ever since then, I have been satisfying his heinous whims, trying to extend its dominion into areas where its influence has not yet reached, under the guidance and observation of a herald who answers to the name of King Pest. The pale figure appears to grow weaker and weaker, as if speaking consumed its remaining vitality. Your arrival has upset the balance of this world, and has created a possibility that was heretofore unthinkable. The man begins to tremble. His image in the mirror is gradually covered by a liquid shadow. Please, make my sacrifice meaningful. He chokes back the sentence with a heartbreaking cry and collapses, clutching his stomach, overcome by spasms, the goblet falling to the floor and shattering. A few minutes later, his body evaporates in a purple mist. Only his reflection remains, and it whispers incomprehensible words, as if someone were gagging him. Oh boy. That's not in reverse. There's probably a little riddle. You don't have much time to ponder his words. His voice has alerted the Inquisitors, whom you can hear running in your direction. So we've got this SSR. It's not in reverse. RVRSTHMP. It's probably a cipher. Mike, you're good with ciphers. Reverse the map to enter the fortress. Mike. Yeah. It's in reverse. There's just no vowels. Thank you, Mike. Reverse the map to... Yes. I saw that. Thank you. Mike's really good at riddles. So yeah, he saw this very quick. It says reverse the map to enter the fortress. I don't feel like we want to enter the fortress right now. Reverse the map to enter the fortress. Maybe that means we do, if the number's like 74, we'd go to 47. Is that what that means? If you have the map, we can go where we want. If you don't possess it, want to escape. If you don't possess it, want to face the Inquisitors. Okay. So we have the map. And this is probably a good stopping point. We can figure out where we want to go to next. We have no rhyme or reason. I'm actually really surprised we didn't get a key with that. But aren't we supposed to, like, talk to the people? The people have the key. Was the guy that we talked to one of the people in King Pest's was that entity that we were talked to, was that one of the King Pest people that killed them or something with like a glass of wine or something? Mike, you're really good at that. You should play Wizard. He does. He plays Enzo, which I think you knew, Morgan. Yeah, good stopping point. We will pick up with the map and I'm scared if I would love to like read our next passage for the next place we pick, but it may be like a really long one, which we have to keep continuing, and then it'll just spiral. So this is a good stopping point for this evening. Thank you so much for joining this. Graham wants to find the gift shop. I'm sure it's maybe it's got Blinsky's stuff. Anyone knows Curse of Strahd? That's the toy maker. It's no fun. It's no Blinsky. So yeah, maybe there's some good Blinsky toys like Strahd dolls or something. Cool. I'm gonna play again on Sunday, but these do publish to my channel if you do want to keep abreast. Or seriously, feel free to join whenever they're doing it. I'll do a really crappy recap at the beginning of each one with your help keeping me on point. But yeah, again, like Morgan thought we were at the end, and it looks like we're just at the beginning of this thing. And we have a long ways to go, I think. And it's really opening. I hope it just doesn't get like really tedious where we just can't find that last key and it just has me like rereading passages. But it feels to be pretty mixed. It seems like we have some agency in the madness of this. Thank you so much, and let's get together this coming Sunday at I think I said 6 o'clock Pacific. Thank you, Graham. Thank you so much for joining us, and Mike and Morgan, as always, thank you so much, and see you next time. Have a good Friday. Oh, now I got awkward point where I try to turn it off and I'm looking for the button. La la la.